All right, guys, so I'm going to say something that's going to probably ruffle some feathers. And so I have constantly heard for a very long time, I've lost count of how many people say that they are an entrepreneur. And I understand why people say that. I get where they're coming from because I started from the same place. But most people never actually become entrepreneurs. Most people are not real entrepreneurs. Most people are not cut out for entrepreneurship, right? And maybe, just maybe, everybody is. I don't know. But in my experience and what I've noticed is that most people aren't. I think most people have this imagination, this crazy imagination, this like Cinderella story, this like whole thing about entrepreneurship and how they want to be free and they want to accomplish all these things. It's just this freedom. Freedom is what's talked about. And that's beautiful. That's great. Like, I get it. I get it 1,000%. But I don't think people realize how difficult it is to actually be an entrepreneur. And that's exactly what I want to tell you right now. So how difficult is it really to be an entrepreneur? Guys, I've been an entrepreneur on and off for like 15 years. And look, I say on and off because the first 7 years, I was not an entrepreneur. I tried entrepreneurship when I was like 21 or something, but like, I don't even consider that not being an entrepreneur. Honestly, like based on what I know today and what I've done, I was not an entrepreneur. Like I really went all into entrepreneurship maybe like 7 or 8 years ago. Maybe. Because everything prior to that was just a waste of time, was just in my imagination, was just in the Cinderella story that I thought I was this guy that can do all this stuff. And I am this guy that can do all this stuff. I really do believe it, which is why I'm here where I'm at today. But a lot of times, most people never leave that phase. And it sucks. Like most people don't leave that phase. Sometimes it's because they're just not equipped to be that. They're not built for that. Other times this could just be that they gave up too soon. Other times it could be that they just did not try enough. They did not get enough reps in to find the right resources, the right skill sets, the right mentor, the right product or service to actually be able to scale and make a lot of money, right? There's a ton of different reasons. But usually when we're in that phase, like you can't really consider yourself to be an entrepreneur. Like you're really just, I feel like in a creative state. I really think that's more of a creative state. And people thinking that they're entrepreneurs, like it's the same idea when you have dreams to becoming something else and I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be this. Like we go through these phases where we're learning these different skill sets and we wanna become that, but we never actually sometimes do. That's the fact of the matter. Like a lot of us, majority of people never actually become what they dreamt of becoming and what they want to become. And again, it's for a ton of different reasons. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, you need to be able, there's a couple of things that I want you guys to think about. If you truly want to be an entrepreneur, you truly want to lock into that and you want to do all it takes, like you have to really understand what it takes to be that. And if you understand what it takes to be that, then go for it and do it. And the next thing that I'm going to say after that is going to be, it might not even be worth doing it in the first place. And I'm going to tell you why, right? So people don't understand how stressful it is to be an entrepreneur. Like you are literally, like David Goggins would say, are carrying the boats 24/7, right? It is up to you and nobody else to actually make the thing work. I don't think people realize like how much weight that carries. I don't think people realize like how stressful that can become. And keep in mind, the stress load and all that gets easier over time, right? Because we become resilient. As we become resilient, we become stronger, we can handle more stress. It's just like running, it's just like working out. You're able to carry more weight. But just like working out, people also give up, right? So you need to know going into entrepreneurship that you're about to burn the ship down and you better be able to swim in the middle of the ocean knowing that nobody is gonna come and rescue you. Like that's what it feels like the first several years. And that's what it even felt like for me the last year and a half, right? Even after I had already made millions of dollars, I still hit a point after that where I was like, dude, I feel like I'm drowning. I don't know how I'm gonna figure this out, but I'm gonna figure it out. I wasn't gonna give up. I knew I was gonna figure it out, but you guys have no idea the amount of stress and load that was putting on my body, mentally, physically, emotionally. Like it was weighing heavy and everybody around me was getting affected by it because I was just not in a good place. But at the same time, you know, I dug deeper than I've ever dug in my life the last year and a half to become the guy that I am today, to become the man that I currently am, you know, as a father, as a partner, entrepreneur, as a boss, friend, as a spiritual guy, like all these different things. All of that built me to become the guy that I am today. I do not regret it because I know that I'm only getting stronger. I know I'm only getting smarter. I'm at a point now where there is nothing that's going to slow me down. a tsunami can hit, I can be wiped out completely, $0 in my bank account, I won't flinch. I will do it again because of all the resilience that I built. You know, when you're starting out as an entrepreneur, like nobody told me that. I can't recall today anybody telling me that, and maybe I might have heard it on a social media video or something. Even if I did or I didn't, I chose it anyway, right? And so I'm sharing this video because I want you guys to truly understand that, like, what does it really take? Because what it really takes to become an entrepreneur, like a successful entrepreneur with money that actually makes money, is the same level of commitment and the same level of stress and the same level of hard that it takes to be able to get good at anything else. If you ask me about an athlete right now who made it to the pros in the NFL or the NBA or the best tennis player in the world, whatever the case is, Serena Williams, right? That girl's been competing, her and her sister, since they were 5 years old or something. It's the exact same thing. Like that rigor, that commitment, that laser focus is unmatched. Unmatched, because clearly she's the best tennis player of all time. Them two are probably the top two of all time. I don't know. Just think about that. It's the same thing with entrepreneurship. It's the exact same thing, but to a whole other degree, in my opinion. Or maybe not. I don't know. I'm not an athlete like that. I would say it's the same thing. It's very, very similar, right? I'm not going to say what's better or what's not. They're both very difficult. And so you guys really need to like look at that. Like whatever you're choosing, whether it's entrepreneurship or anything else, if you really want to become the absolute best that you can possibly be, you better be ready to potentially suffer, to potentially be stressed, to eat shit, and feel like you just cannot get through it and you have no idea how you're gonna make it out the next day. Because I have experienced that many, many times, and I could probably guarantee you that if you ask almost, and I'd say 90% successful entrepreneurs, and by success, I mean maybe they made at least $1 million, right? Because I think under that, you're really just kind of a business owner. Like I'm talking about like millions of dollars in profit. Almost all of them will say that they had a season where it was just like, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this. Whether it was at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, or both, or all three. There's always these waves. It's just like the stock market, like in my experience, right? Because I'm sure I'm about to hit crazy limits and heights in the next several years, and then I'm gonna probably hit another wall again. But I'll be able to handle the stress better because I've also become more resilient. If you're not prepared to go into a pressure cooker, don't even try this because it will be hard. 100%. Here is like the mind-boggling thing. This for sure I did not know when I started off. I realized this in the last couple of years and I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like I wonder if I would have chosen differently if I knew this now. And the thing is that like being an entrepreneur has all this glory to it, right? Like, oh, I'm self-employed, I'm freedom, I can do whatever I want. Yeah, that's great. But you realize that there are actual employees. Employees are people who get a W-2 and will work for a company that make millions of dollars a year. There are literally employees out there in this country and outside of this country that make significantly more money, and this is net because this is a W-2 income, than probably 50% or more of entrepreneurs and business owners that are out there struggling, working 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 18 hours a day, trying to get this freedom, right, to make 50K a month, but they're on their own, they're self-employed, yet there's an employee out there who's just doing what the CEO and the owner says, and they're making 100K a month, $250,000, $1 million a month as a W-2 employee. That is a fact. That is a fact, and you can look this up. I didn't know that. So trust me, I didn't know that either. Like I didn't know this 2-3 years ago. When I first heard of that, I was like, damn, that's crazy. I'm like, if you can get good enough at something, and look, I'll say this, there's not a lot of jobs like that, right? Most people, probably 99% of people will never get a job like that. Like it's just not gonna happen. Like it's not, but it's possible, right? And so if it's possible to make $1 million a year, $10 million a year, even $50 million a year as an employee, then why would you be struggling out here and stressing about it as an entrepreneur? And I know I said 50 million. You guys are probably thinking that sounds crazy. Look it up. Meta, Apple, Google, SpaceX, Tesla, all these different companies are literally quote unquote stealing software engineers that are experts in AI and paying them a ton of money. Like these employees make significantly more money than I've ever made, right? And so imagine being a W-2 employee, you're making 50 million a year. That just, it sounds bonkers, but it's true. Think about that. If you're not actually gonna try and make $1 million, 10 million consistently a year to have that time and freedom, and you're actually gonna be willing to suffer and struggle and do all of that, why not just try and become the best employee you could possibly be? Keep bettering your skills, have a lockdown paid salary of 5K a month, keep getting better, then make 10K a month, keep getting better, then go get 20K a month, keep getting better, you can literally move up that way. If you are on the cusp of that, or you're currently struggling as an employer, as an entrepreneur, like really look at that, because this video could potentially change your life if you actually listen to what I just said. If you actually look at your life and then decide from that perspective and that point, it can probably change your life. And If you decide to stay on the dark side, it's not really a dark side, but you know, if you're an entrepreneur, get rid of struggle. It's amazing. I love it. Like, I don't know if I would ever become an employee. Like if I, you know, made a whole bunch of money and just wanted to go, I don't know. I don't think I would ever do that. It's fun doing this. It really is. So I know why people want to do it. It is like, be able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, and be making millions of dollars. Like, yeah, for sure. But just be ready, because they won't always be easy. But as long as you prepare and you budget and you project and you properly invest, then maybe it will be easy. So that is all I got for you guys today. Now we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.